Welcome back. I hadn't quite finished packing my bag, but I was so excited to get in front of the camera and start talking because it's been so long since I've done one of these sessions, and I've been looking forward to doing these so much because, well, this is a midnight session today, but the last time that I did, like, I haven't really done too much gym, like weight training this week. Been doing my cardio and that in the morning, but it just hasn't shaken out to do too much of the gym stuff. So the last gym session I did, I think, was also a midnight session, and that was around that time as well of, what was the last, I think I uploaded that the day of or the day after my last session. So it's been a minute, but I'm very excited to be here. Had a lot of cool stuff going on. One thing that was on my mind was there's this fact that appears to be a case which I've dropped the resistance for. I've just let go of fighting against it or anything like that, but I've noticed sometimes when I get praise or encouragement for something or rewarded for something, I like stop doing it. So for example, with this, I got some great comments, guys being like, these are underrated, I love these. I'm like, oh, yeah. And then I just stopped doing it. I'm like, that's weird that I do that. But then the old cycle was I would shame myself for it. I'd be like, oh man, that's no good. Shouldn't be dropping off and that kind of thing from something that you know does well and is something I enjoy doing. Weird little thing that I do from time to time. But also, for instance, with like TikTok, I've when I go live, and I haven't gone live for ages, but I actually gain followers from it, and it's one of my strengths. I'm a grade 1 yapper. That looks whack. I thought maybe that would be cool, but it was not. I'm a grade 1 yapper, and I also have been paid to go live on TikTok before, like AdSense and that, or like view sense, people giving rewards and that kind of thing. We'll take this off, it's midnight. But then I just stopped doing it after that. Sometimes when I make some money in the business, I'll like just chill. And I'm not 100% sure what it is. I'm sure we'll figure it out during this session. But it just is a pattern I've noticed, and then it gets worse when I'm like, oh, this is bad, and I shame myself for it. I shouldn't be doing this. But when I just let go and be like, yeah, like I'll come back around to it. When I come back around to it, then I just naturally come back around to these things, and it's all gravy, baby. Let's pray, get this first set in. All right. We're just gonna have a bit of fun. Maybe hit some classic curls today. Ooh, it's been a while. All right, well, we're sweating already, so the sweatpants can come off. They have fulfilled their duty. Alrighty, yeah, I've had a few things going on as of late, but good things, always good. I realized something with this, is I've been doing a lot of this principle we talked about a little while ago. Nana talked about it on here, was, well, if your calendar's not already full of the thing that is what you love, like I love calls, teaching, making content, going live, long form content, and this, if it's not full of that in like a paid sense, then fill it up as if it were paid, essentially, or just fill it up doing something that style that leads to, and inevitably it'll lead to money coming in and getting paid. And that's what I've been doing. Just enjoying doing the long form stuff, making content from that place of knowing that more, like the money will sort itself out, and being able to do that has been the focus. So I've just been digging in, having conversations. I really enjoy it. It makes for good content that I save to my YouTube as like unlisted videos. So they're only available to like the people I send them to. And with my own content as well, my own schedule, I've been filling it with, let me get some water also here. I've been filling it with that stuff, so like that and having conversations in person with people I really enjoy. Haven't really had any guests for the gym therapy stuff for a sec. But we're in a really nice flow for everything. So I'm just chilling with it. No need to force it, or sometimes when I get out of it, it's normally when I start thinking, oh, I should be doing more. I could have done this much more instead. But then, like we've talked about before, it's the could have done less. So just allowing it to be what it is and not trying to fight it is a big point of the flow nowadays, which I'm really enjoying. So filling it up with what you want to do anyway, what you want to be doing, that's the point of me not necessarily having a job. But we have been talking about it for potentially for that stability and the security, but every time we pray about it, I know God's just saying no, don't get a job right now. Know that the option's always there. That option is always there. Like you could always, I was talking to someone today where they did a trip, they road tripped around Australia for a year, and there was one period of time where they ran out of money, so they stopped over in Perth in WA, my hometown, my home city, and they just worked for 6 weeks. Him and his misso made like $6,000-$7,000, and then just continued the rest of the trip. So all around 20k or 20 to 30k for the year. He was saying, he hasn't run the numbers, but I was talking to him earlier today, and I love talking about it, that kind of thing. That's what I've been filling my time up with, because he's like, you know, I know that I want to do something along these lines, but I don't quite know what to offer. So just talk to him about that stuff, and heaps of fun. Stuff that I'm guiding people with and helping them with anyway. Just jumping on calls and doing that. So filling my time up with that, and yeah, I honestly forgot where I was going with that before, why I went into the little tangent. But when you do what you enjoy, that's right, keep praying to God, and it's like, don't get a job, treat content as the job. So that's what I've been doing, been treating content as a job, putting out pieces of content, and I allow myself to get into a flow state where it's normally around this time, midnight, I'm like between 11 p.m. to like 4 a.m. I feel not that productive, so I just go and like I'll do a bit of scrolling on my phone, and then suddenly I just zoop. Next thing I know, I'm editing, making content. Oh, okay. And then I'll go out of it and go on the phone, and it's zoop. And it only doesn't work when I'm like, I shouldn't be scrolling. When I'm just like, yeah, it's whatever's happening is happening. I'm always part of you goes, I could be more productive. I could be like every single second, but it just doesn't happen. So you just naturally flow to it, and then about 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. work then, and then go to sleep around like 5, 6 a.m. and then just wake up when the body's ready to wake up, and that has been really good. So treating the content as the job, and then the money's coming in. So something that we've done as well is because look, this is all part of the financial responsibility, the financial literacy that I've been wanting to share, that I am sharing as I'm going through it. One of the things is, I talked about it a little earlier, I felt like I got egg on my face when my business came up, like it's come up cash-wise, and then I was like, oh, paid off that Amex, our credit card stuff fully from last month, and then it just jumped up again, and it has a limit on it, which we've talked about before, but it jumped up straight away, maxed out the limit within like the next week of me paying off the last one. I was like, I felt silly. I felt like, oh, I'm an idiot. Like, what have I done wrong? And I've been talking it through and doing it, and now it's coming back down, which is good. But I was just like, how did this happen? Like, I just hit a breakthrough with my business. Some of it might be the way I've been doing treating the Amex is like I've been letting it exceed what we're actually doing. So I had a chat with Yana yesterday, had a walk, and it was basically like, we were doing the finance numbers, because I haven't been doing the weekly outflows. I've been avoiding that stuff to be like, oh, where are we at? We'd set a budget towards the end of last month. We were like, okay, do this, because otherwise it's overindulgence and it's money away from our future. We enjoy what we're doing now, but there's also like, it's that stage where we want to invest towards the future still. You want to keep doing that. and we had set this budget of $500 a week, and then rent on top of that, so $650 a week. We set that the end of last month, and so the numbers I was going went up until the end of last month, and so we were taking a look at that. Prior to that, we'd been doing about 700 a week on average, 710 or something, so pretty good. But Yana definitely left that conversation a little frustrated, and I was a bit frustrated as well with like, okay, this and that. And so we went away, like I went out, I just needed to leave, so I did some writing. I went to the cafe, it was like 8 p.m. I just wrote down, it was dark, nice little fairy lights in the cafe. I was writing down some stuff and talking it through with DeepSeek whilst taking a bit of a walk around, talking through how I feel. And ultimately we came to like, I feel like I don't do my best work when I'm in survival mode for the business. And so I was like, I don't exactly know what to do, but I know the right thing was to talk to Yana about. I actually had the realization to talk to her about it on Monday, but I didn't talk to her about it until Thursday. It happens, like I was avoiding it. So it happens, and the big thing is give yourself a pat on the back for, hey, you had the conversation, fantastic. Let's keep building more of that. Let's do this set. But I had this realization, I was like, I don't know, like, because I want to provide fully and I enjoy doing that, but I was like, I don't know what to do. Does this mean like I ask her to chip in temporarily, or like I still do all the numbers, but I take that on and she doesn't have to worry about that stuff, and yeah, or is it something else? I just knew I had to have the conversation with her, and ultimately what we came to was like, she asked a great question, was like, is the issue the contribution percentages and that, or is it the amount? And I was like, it's the amount. Felt that in my body, is like, because contribution percentage wise, I love being 100% of providing the day-to-day and all that. And that being said, we're actually doing things to have goals for setting intentions for mine beyond that, because otherwise providing day-to-day is like, it's pretty chill, like we're always provided for anyway. But being able to go beyond that is good. And I made a little spreadsheet that shows like, got a couple intentions in there, and then I'm going to set next to it like what each intention is, like, oh, from here this will grow up to this point. Yeah, but we had that chat and it was good. So then we set because we hadn't really been like, I hadn't been tracking the budget that we'd set end of last month, so we set a slightly lower one, because it's like, okay, what can we definitely do, and what's the right number that God calls for? So it's 300 a week plus the rent, which is 650 a week, so about 950, 1,000 a week as the total thing, and that's what my business is covering, and that's within the Amex limit. That's within what I currently do, and I can expand beyond that by not being in survival mode, because I was like, I don't like being in survival mode. I know that my business has always done better when it's not in that, but our business is structured differently now, where we can't necessarily just say, hey, pour out of this business, because we've already invested that money into the future, so that we're not like, attempting to use it in the short term. So we've been doing that. We had that chat, and that definitely, it like immediately took me out of survival mode. It's like, okay, the budget's this and that. And we even looked at it today, and I was like, 180 so far this week. Pretty good. So we've been in accordance with that, and because anything beyond that right now is kind of overindulgent. And part of me felt silly. It was like, well, if we're making so much and like I'm so good at this stuff, but I do just want to provide through my business. We don't spend that much actually on a weekly basis normally. Like I said, average is about 700 a week before rent. I was just like, why? Like, I feel silly if I'm so rich in mind and so skilled. Why am I struggling and in survival mode with this thing? And it's like, it's almost like forcing too much pressure on a thing from the get-go, when that just wasn't what we were called for. I've done it before. We've done it before where we did it that way. And another thing was like leaning into our strengths. I feel like I'm not the best with spreadsheets, and I don't really like being in the numbers like that, but when I do it my way, all good. But I was like, Yana's really good at this stuff, but she doesn't necessarily enjoy it. She's just got an affinity for it. Sometimes she likes the spreadsheets, but not with the providership stuff. She loves it with other stuff. With providership stuff, she doesn't really love it. I enjoy it with the providership stuff if it's part of what's required. And so that was a bit of the trepidation I had. I was like, I feel out of my element. And there was a bit of a discussion about, is it maybe you haven't put enough reps in? And that could be the case with it as well. But yeah, I felt silly for like, why should we have a budget restriction with that when I'm like, I want to like I don't want her to live a restricted lifestyle. But she's like, if it's what we need to do temporarily, that's fine. And dropping the shame around that, huge. So really exciting. And then finances immediately. It's like from yesterday, then to today, it was like, phew, big jumps. We've already hit pretty much 20% of like my first money intention thing within a day. And it's funny because like I just said it, and when you put the intentions and numbers to it and put them as a percentage, it's like, whoa, 20%, it comes by so quickly, you know? So yeah, that stuff comes by really, really fast. It's like when we drove for an hour for a little road trip last week, 2 weeks ago, and it was like an hour, but when we were 3 minutes in or something, I was just calculating the percentages. I was like, oh, we're 5% of the way. Wait, did I do that maths right? Yeah, we're 5% of the way. Three minutes, 5% of the way. And then when we're 6 minutes in, we're 10% of the way. And then another 3 minutes, 15% of the way. And then another 3 minutes, so 12 minutes, we're 20% of the way. Wait, am I doing that maths right? Yeah, 3 is 5% times 4. Anyway, yeah, and it was just like when you break it down that way, it's so much more manageable because it gets chunked down that way, and inherently it's a percentage of a goal of something that you're going to get to, and it just makes it so much more like you gamify it. So even being able to do that with numbers is something I really enjoy as well. Anyway, let's get this next set. I'm real stoked to be here. My eyes are a little tired. This happens around this time, but overall I feel good. Honestly, feeling a little bloated as of late, but that's just obviously some of that's me focusing on that as well. So yeah, just enjoy it. Love the body. Love the journey. Okay, pretty good. It's been a while since we've just had some curl action and all that going on. I've been enjoying that. We got biceps and back today, so as always we're having some fun. Still feeling pretty good actually. Feeling really good, really good. Just been doing our classic, getting in, doing some movement in the mornings, and filling the day with what I enjoy, having that flow of things be the natural schedule. So right now the schedule kind of has become like up till about 4 a.m. or so, sleep till 12 or so, and then up from there. I think today though, I woke up at about 10:30. I was really excited to wake up to come to the gym before a call that I had at 1. Yeah, so I just wanted some time at the gym, but then the call got moved anyway, and I ended up filling that space. So the call got moved to like 8 p.m. and I ended up filling that space. It was perfect timing. I borrowed some shoes from our neighbor here, who I'm probably going to do a gym therapy session with soon, because he's got a little home gym, a neighbor down the road, and I returned them. But we had a wicked conversation. Yana and I went to his house. He's actually a guy that I met around the time we first moved here, and like business was like not so great when he came here. Like I've told the story before, we were 100k in the hole. Our cleaning company that we started back over in Perth, that was initially doing 400,000 a year, the operators that were there, my brother-in-law, and our friend, we had a plan, okay, give them the client 3 weeks to start continuing to catch up on stuff. We told them that was the plan. You guys communicate that. 3 weeks to catch up on, like, there are a few months of missed payments that was starting to catch up anyway, and they were still getting paid for their current work. So Yana and I drove across the country, came here, and then like the day that we left, they actually just didn't even go into the client, and they were just like, we're not coming in because you guys aren't paying us. But it was like, dude, they were paying you for the work you're already doing. you've just destroyed the relationship now. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, why would you do that? But that's one of the things that you bear when you're directors of the company, and we'd put $100,000 of our own money into that. So it was like, here we did our homeless thing for a few days here. The business partner that we were going to work with here, that fell through. The place we were going to live with fell through, and just all these things. But we got this place that we're at now, which we're going to move out from now. And I went door knocking neighbor to neighbor to kind of like, okay, I was like, how do I know I can get clients and do these things? It was like direct messages and spend time like door knocking, just get to know. And I wanted to know people around the neighborhood, but I definitely had this air of like a door-to-door salesman kind of thing. And I was just talking to people, getting to know them. Oh, hey, how's it going? Oh, I do this. Do you know anyone that might be interested in this? And I did get some interest from that. But I also got like this guy, our neighbor, he just kind of pulled me up on it. He was very like, because he can see through a lot of that stuff. But at the time, it was the first time outside of Yana that I'd heard this, or even actually Yana hadn't really mentioned it this way, but this idea of like not working hard for things and not forcing things or even having goals. And I was like, wait, how are you supposed to get anything done? But this guy's built multi-million-dollar businesses and like has his place and like multiple investment properties and a family and all that stuff. I was just like, it's confusing. And I just stood there for like 2 hours talking to him, and then his wife came out for a bit, and just like getting to know them was so interesting, but it was so foreign to me, and I walked away from that, and it almost like, it was so far beyond my comprehension, I couldn't register it at first. But lo and behold, that's what we've started doing ourselves anyway, like a year, like within the last year or so, and realizing, oh, that's where the best stuff came from. So only recently, when I borrowed some dress pants and shoes, because I'm like, we're about to move, we don't want to go buy a bunch of stuff and then have to return it, because we went to Yana's business gala ball award thing, which was really great fun to celebrate her and like those businesses. They do speak small business over themselves, which is why I purposely err on the side of not using the phrasing small business, because it's like small business owners speak over themselves that they're small, and there are these connotations with struggling. It's like us against the world kind of thing, versus actually the world wants you to do well. How do we look for that and search for that and find that? So yeah, it's someone's coming. I better put my shirt back on. Put the shirt on. How's it going? That's a cleaner, I think. So we're here. And yeah, we did that, and when I was talking to him about it, he very kindly was like, oh, you've got this energy about you, and I was like, oh, okay, whack that he can pick up on this stuff. And it was like, anyway, but now that's like what we do as well, and we're more in tune to that. Yana's always been very in tune with that, and yeah, it was pretty interesting to note and to see and to be talking to him again. So I went and borrowed the stuff. Yana and I had a conversation. We were at the past like 2-3 hours just chatting about this stuff, similar to the stuff we talk about here. A lot of flow and that, and some really super interesting deep topics that when I have those conversations, I realize everything just melts away, and I know everything's going to be okay. Like that in my body feels so much like everything is going to be okay. And I know it's going to be okay, like you feel that in the body. So I know that the more of those conversations I have, the more life is good. Like the more that's like, I'm like, this is the calling. And I've been realizing that more and more. That's why Yana's like, the long form stuff, this gym therapy stuff, every time I do it, I'm like, everything's going to be okay. It's the talking, the moving, the passion. Like I've talked about the pain and passion video that I had. The pain that was here, it just goes away when I start talking about passion or I'm around it. It's like, I should realize I can't feel really external things. I've been doing like cold plunge little talks after my cardio in the morning and doing lives. So it's like stacking things together. But when I do the cold plunge stuff and get going about what I'm passionate about and just focus on how I want to say it, how I'm called to say it, I can't feel the cold. Not really, like obviously it comes on later, but when I talked about it in the sauna with some people before, I'll be talking in the sauna and it's like sweltering, then we'll start talking about passion, I just forget that it's hot, it's just gone. And pain, external things, they just disappear under that, they dissipate under that passion. So it's really being able to have as much of that in life as I can. This gym therapy with people, client calls, free calls, like for like strategy. I guess you could call them like, I wouldn't even call them strategy calls. Some people would call them strategy calls, but I don't really do like that as a strategy call. Isn't the main thing. You could call them a strategy call. Discovery calls, clarity calls, all of that side of things. Just doing that, live videos, more long form speaking content, more YouTube stuff. Yana's like, YouTube's really your platform, because I love it. I just love YouTube so much. And I love Instagram and that, all the platforms as well, but I love YouTube's my baby. I've been on YouTube the longest, like 13 years this year. Just always making little bits of content across various different channels and that. Always had the philosophical grounding with all of it. Has been really cool to realize. So now I'm just like, the more of this I do, I know everything's going to be okay. Because it's like one thing to know it intellectually, but to feel it, you're like, oh, I found my passion, my calling. The more I'm doing it, and then the money's just coming along. I'm like, oh, I didn't even, like, it's just here. And I know that as I do this, more and more money comes in, and that's it. We're always provided for, we're always accounted for. And it all just works out. So really grateful to be focusing, have that clarity in myself, and focusing on doing all of this stuff so much more, being like, this is the thing, you know, this is the spice of life, really, this stuff, and the more I can do it, the better. So it's kind of like I love the Joe Rogan Experience, that podcast, stuff like that, but I love doing it out and about, miking up like this, and just talking, doing a gym session. I feel like that's where I'm really in my element, being out and about. And I can sit down and talk to people, but it's just something to normally sit down and share a meal or something like that. But it's normally out and about. You guys have seen the gym therapy stuff, so there's really something to it. So I'm really glad I've been doing it and continuing to do it and just stick with it, because I enjoy it so much. Even though like not a massive viewership or anything, I just love this so much. I don't care. Like, I'm just gonna be doing it because I love it, putting it out there and sharing it, and whatever happens with it happens. But now that there's more intention and focus that we can hone on with it, focus we can hone into with it, it's gonna be something, you know? It already is something. Anyway. Yeah. Something I've been doing with clients, I think I've said it here, is asking that question, what would someone who is financially abundant or abundant in faith do right now? How would they feel right now? That really helps drop into your body and like embody that feeling, especially because it's a degree removed from being like, oh, how would I feel if I was this? It's just like, what would someone feel? And inherently that someone is a projection of you, so it's you, and you feel that way. Let's do it one at a time. That's pretty fun. Oh. Just realized, started with the right. Okay. Little cheat. Okay, I'll just do a few more on the right. Yeah, one more. All right. Feeling good. You know what though, in spite of all the bloating and all that I'm feeling, we're still looking pretty good and vascular. So that's cool. That's really cool. Woo! I love it, eh? So I love what I get to do with this and how I get to really make a difference with all this stuff. Even then, it's just understanding everyone starts from zero. Something I've noticed that happens with me sometimes, I get like this, is I can get caught up in the numbers of, oh, how many views is the piece of content getting? How many likes? What's the engagement? How many shares? How many saves? And they're good metrics to know, but they're never the be-all end-all. If you start getting caught up in that stuff and getting emotionally attached to that stuff, your business tends to suffer, because a lot of the time the content that does best is actually the content that converts from a business perspective isn't necessarily just content that does high engagement, high viewership and all that. It's actually content that gets less viewership and engagement, and yeah, just something to it. It's a little bit deeper a lot of times, sometimes longer, so it's not as mass appeal. Sometimes the mass appeal is great for bringing in, like the top of funnel we talked about is great for that. Sometimes that's why you have a content funnel, like a mix of pieces of content, which we've talked about before. But yeah, you have that, you have the content funnel. I'm gonna go on this because I enjoy this machine a lot, doing some high rows in that. Yeah, that looks good. And you can see my bag date. I actually just found out, because I actually didn't know what symbol I was carrying around for ages. I like carrying it by hand actually now. But this symbol is like part of Goku's name, which apparently means wisdom or enlightenment, which is pretty cool. I'm like very befitting, very glad that I had this bag specifically. Yeah. So, I forgot what I was saying. Alright, we'll chuck some weight on here. Keep it rolling. That down. That about there. Yeah. Turn it this way because then you can see that bit. That zip bit. I might actually, because this one's like a little. I might actually get the other one that I saw online as well. Once my reward 5% gets up there, I'm gonna get the other bag, which is a little more, but I think the quality will probably be higher. So, because obviously I like the shoulder strap. I like being able to carry this one, but you know, I mean, I can just get the other one and see. Woo! I have not been gymming as much, and the shoulders get a little tight. I can feel my right shoulder a bit more right now. That's where the biggest remedy is to move, do this stuff, move and groove, really. Have fun with it, enjoy. So, we have some 25s on there, and then we'll get another set of 25s on, because I got some strength. I've got some strength. I've listened through a lot of the Dragon Ball Z recaps, or the Dragon Ball recaps. So Dragon Ball Z, I've listened to Super GT. Oh, I think I said this last one, Diama. And then going into some other things like Dragon Ball Z Superheroes or something like that, Hero. So knowing all these arcs and these characters, it's like, I really enjoy it actually. Like we talked about last time, the point is not to not struggle, but to actually seek meaningful challenges to constantly get stronger, push yourself to your limits, and then you evolve to do that. Ooh, that feels good. Okay, that's good. So now, put some extra weight on there. I'm gonna go onward. So yeah, I just think the other one might be slightly higher quality. We'll see. But you know, I'm having fun. That's one of the things about the screens, your eyes just naturally go there, hey? So, it's good. Good to be here. I loved it the other night when all of the sound went off. That was pretty cool. Really appreciated that. But maybe that's just a 2 a.m. thing. System reset type of thing. Yeah, it's been really, really good to get to do everything, have these realizations. So we've still been doing our thing, coming in, training, and one thing, so many different things that I've talked about. This is why I love doing these every day, because otherwise they're just like a bajillion topics I want to talk about. So a couple key ones are 1 + 1 = 11, which I've done an Instagram live on, and we'll probably, I reckon I'll take the lives I've done, download them and upload them to YouTube as well, just because they're great content like that, and I really enjoy having them out there. So 1 + 1 = 11 is this idea of leveraging your strengths, like I was talking about with the finance stuff with Yana, so it fits in with this. Because sometimes you operate in a way where it's like 1 + 1, we've talked about this before, 1 + 1 = 0.5, when you're trying to make your weaknesses strengths. And I feel like that's kind of what we've been doing financially. Sometimes we slip into that. They're saying proactive, but now we're doing stuff that's 1 + 1 = 11, because we're leveraging each other's strengths and really building using that, and it's like things really explode. And because they're coming from that place of abundance, and so it's like the leverage is much greater, and we're, you know, getting things to 1 + 1 = infinite. That's what we're doing now, actually. It's just the circumstances catching up to that. So that is one of the things. And another thing is this idea of this principle I use called always something. So I put it this way, I put it into 3 lines. There's always something that you can do, even if it's really small, like training and that. Otherwise, there's always something that will come up and get in the way of the progress. And because there's always something to do, enjoy the process, or enjoy that journey. So there's always something you can do. Like the workouts I've been doing, even in the mornings when I've been coming in, have been like yesterday or something was like, because I was a little shorter on time, it was like a 3-minute session on the bike of cardio. Like I just did some sprint style stuff, jumped into the pool for like a couple of minutes, the cold pool, rinsed off, went straight home, and have my meetings in that, jump straight into doing stuff in the morning. And same with the other days. It's been like, they've been shorter sessions, sometimes very short amount of time in the sauna. Today I just dunked my face in the pool, and then I had to go do some stuff, drop the pants off back in the neighbor. We had another great conversation, and it really is awesome to have those kind of conversations. Real cool to hear his perspective on stuff, because he is, like Jana's talked about, like I've talked about, that Jana's talked to me about before, kind of like that older brother figure for me, because I don't have too many of those. But it's exactly like we said, we opened up the intention, and then he's been there the whole 2 years anyway. And even when we had the conversation at his place the other night, he was like, oh man, like, you've been here 2 years and now you're leaving, and like, oh, we're only just starting to have these conversations now. It's so exciting. But it's the perfect timing, as always. It's, yeah, having a bit of an older brother figure in that sense. Yana said he's actually, he's like an older version of, because she's heard the conversations and she has had a conversation, and I recapped the conversation that I had with him today with Yana. She's like, he's an older version of another guy, the guy that we're going to move to live near in Melbourne as well. I won't say his name for now, but we'll probably end up doing some gym sessions together with that, because he does gym as well, and he's a cool guy, and I love talking to this guy as well. They're like older brothers for me. I'm like, man, I don't normally have too many of these kind of figures in my life, and sometimes you don't talk to them too often, but it really boosts you and brings you up. It's cool, because normally it's been a while since I talked about this, but normally I'm being the older brother figure to like clients and different guys. I just naturally have that dynamic. Even guys that are a little bit older than me, sometimes it's like it's like I'm normally doing better than them financially or something like that. So there's and that's the angle that we kind of have. There are elements where they're the older brother to me, but not like an overall figure, if that makes sense. But these guys are more financially successful than me, more accomplished in life, you could say, and just the all-round older brother kind of figure. So it's really cool to have. Quite a privilege. And yeah, I'm really excited to be having these conversations. Oh yeah, let's come back to the always something thing. I don't know how I got to that, but the always something. So there's always something that you can do. Otherwise, there's always something that will come. There's always like, if not one thing, then it's the next thing. And because we tend to go all or nothing. So it's like, if we can't do all of it, we'll do none of it. And then that's way less productive than like always doing like 1% every day. Because 1% compounding over time has a massive effect. Because 1%, if something grows, 1% of that is actually an increased amount compared to what it was before. So say it was like 1% of 100 that you can do, that's 1 comes on, but then 1% of, then it becomes 101. 1% of 101 is like 1.01. So then you add that, and it adds up. So each time it's like you're actually adding more each time when you do that. And when you can get your foot in the door like that, you tend to just go whoop, up way more. It's that foot in the door principle, or the always something principle, is one that I use even with clients. Like if they're busy, one of my guys that I said was ghosting me, I think last time I hadn't talked to him yet, he was kind of like, ghosting me is the way you could put it, but I just knew he was overwhelmed with life. There was this the term again, quantum smashing or something like that, quantum crushing. It's not crushing, but basically where two worlds collide, your old reality is met with your new reality, and everything seems like it's falling apart, and all this stuff is happening at once. I'm like, when I told him, I was like, this is normal, like this happens, I see this all the time when I work with people. It's supposed to happen, like it's okay, that's what I'm here for. When you're feeling overwhelmed, walk through this together. So I got on the phone with him, talking through. Some of it was like the overwhelm for the payment stuff, so we're just like, what can you put towards it now to help reduce that overwhelm? And so he paid that, and he's like, thank you, like I really appreciate you being so like continuously reaching out and like catering the approach to me. And that's just what we do. It's such a privilege to do that, and remembering that this has a real impact on people. So yeah, that's a big part of it. So there's always something, and getting the foot in the door. Why I was saying that, because it was like this whole like idea in his head of like, we have to have an hour long or 2 hour long Zoom conversation or session together, because that's how we had been catching up beforehand to kind of start working together. But then I was like, let's just do a 5 to 10 minute call about one specific topic, the payment topic, because I can tell that's something that's on your mind. Like, let's sort something out together, because especially when it's the relationship with money and you've got all this quantum smashing going on, things are just going to seem like they're building up and they're too much. So we walked through just that one topic. But that 5 to 10 minute conversation, he had the time for it. We talked for an hour. And it was great. It was like a little mini check-in. And then we also organized a check-in off of that as well. And it's good. So getting your foot in the door is really good. Otherwise, there's always something that will come up, which is the second bit of that. Is like, we'll always put something in the way. And yeah, then that way it's like you can always do something, always take a step forward. Even if it's a small step, it's infinitely bigger than no step, you know? And then there's always something to do. I realized this part, like I was walking the shops just yesterday whilst I was getting out and about and walking. There's always something to do. So being mad at, this is frustrating that I gotta do this thing and then go on to the next thing. If you always be like, okay, I'm gonna chill out when I finish this thing, it's like, no, because then there's the next thing. So there's always something to do. So enjoy it. Like, just enjoy and give all of your effort to the one thing in front of you, or not effort, but devote yourself to the thing in front of you, and then when that's done, the next thing will inform itself. And right now that's this step. Before that is this conversation. Focus and presence. That's where that comes from. Yeah, that's like my little tangible way of presence. Because if you just say presence, if you've never done it before, or if it sounds foreign, sometimes it can be hard to tangibly like, wait, what am I doing? How do I just be present? Because a lot of the time when you're being present, you're not thinking, I'm being present. You just are being present, you know, you just are present. You are that thing, you are presence. So it's, I find that's a tangible way to do it. Like, just devote all of your focus to this one thing, pour everything you have into it, and then the next thing will inform itself. And when your mind starts to go to the next thing, you just bring it back to that thing. And that's presence. That's it. Yeah. And I love it. I love it. And you just lose sense of time in that way, in a good way. Oh my goodness, bro. Woo! Bit of a mission there on that one. Oh my days. Oh my stars. I might turn this receiver down a tiny bit. I think Rihanna's, no, she's not done. Actually, I think it'll be alright on that. We'll roll with that for now, because I don't want to. We did a whole like 20-minute video the other night where we're doing it, and I saw Yana bump the receiver, but I didn't say anything about it. All the audio after the first minute was gone, but we just re-recorded it. It's good. We've been doing some filming of the talking head stuff at like 2 a.m. So I look a little tired in those videos, because I am, but they're good. It's good because we batched a bunch of them, and we batched so much other content, and I've got, like, Yana sent me through just like a content calendar for all this stuff. All the things to do are on there, just like by day, by week. Here are the minimums, and then I'm also doing it gives me the freedom just I can post whatever I want. If this stuff is, when stuff is covered, I know the marketing's covered, but I can do on my own, like just post whatever I want, have fun with it. And I love talking about the stuff that's in the videos, because it's like we're talking about things that I love, just from a certain angle to help with it, actually helping people more. It's a specific way of doing it that I get to learn, and then we I just felt a tingle go all through my body. Didn't take a sec to breathe, so I'm going to take a second now. That was a sign. Beautiful. Yeah, so in doing that, the content is much more fluid. And I'm able to do whatever I want with the other stuff, and it's still on brand and shows my personality, and I do all the extra stuff as well, which is fun. So it's like I'm actually posting like 2 to 4 times a day now without actually really thinking about it. Got lots of the talking head stuff that's like, it can get a little frustrating, because sometimes we do it in a way where it's like, they're like I said, 20-minute long clip, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta make like a 1 to 2 minute reel out of this. It's a bit of a mission. For TikTok it's a bit better, because TikTok allows like hour-long stuff. YouTube much better as well. I'm putting a compilation together of all of those, some of those answers, with more of the free-flowing ones, but some of them are more like Yana will feed me a prompt and a line, and we'll go line by line. But then others are like, you'll see it because it hasn't come out yet, but it's one where we went to UQ and she just asked me questions, and I just was like, well, I just blurted stuff out like, oh, this is that. As a result, great content, but like there's too much to fit into like a reel, so I have to take specific bits of it. And then that's why I'm happy to be doing it on YouTube, because I'll be like, oh, check out the whole thing on the YouTube, because then you get all the context surrounding it. But in Reels, you got to be much more concise, which is great skill to be able to edit that stuff down. And like when I do it, I'm like, oh, this is just what I do. Like this is easy, but sometimes it's daunting to go in being like, okay, I know that I've got like 20 minutes of footage here to put into like 30 seconds. Bit of a mission, but you just do it, and then I'll allow myself to scroll in that a little bit, and then I'll go back to doing it, and it's good. It's clearly working and getting done. It's when you drop the resistance around that stuff, it just happens. Just smacked myself in the mouth with the water bottle. Yeah, man. Oh, really blessed to be able to do what we do. Keep moving a little bit. It's a little chilly. Yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say. Pretty sure the whole last thing. Oh yeah, with the marketing thing. It's just like, that's why I've got a marketing team. Literally get all the stuff planned out for me, and like it's in my voice, my style, the things that I love talking about, the way I love talking about it, and enough flexibility within the structure for me to have fun and do my own thing. But also I have this ability to just do good work with it, if that makes sense. just like, and do my, play around with it, have my own thing within it. And it's really a blessing. And obviously that's like, I've invested 50% of my profits into this, my marketing team, which is YLC, which is also a company I have a vested interest in. I'm a part of the company, but I'm part of the company and I use the company because I believe in it so much, just like on my dime. I'm like, I believe in the company that much and believe that it's right to pay for that, you know, through my business as well. So, but, you know, yeah. And even with that, there's a bit of shame around it because I've asked for a modified payment structure because I was like, couldn't keep up with the whole like 7,000 a month for my modified one. So we've done a modified thing where I'm on a separate plan for that. But there was a bit of shame around that for me. I was like, man, what an idiot. Like, why did I jump into this if I couldn't thingo, but if I couldn't follow through that way? But it's like, again, always something like, well, okay, what's a payment plan we can go on if we're in this situation temporarily to get it up there so that it can then start doing that. And if they take a greater percentage of my profits for that, I'm all for it. Because it's like, we're building this thing long term. Like, bro, to even have profits is a blessing, you know? A lot of businesses don't even see that, but we've been profitable since day one, you know? And it's just continuing to put on. Technically, some of it might not be profitable right now. We're just looking at revenue, but long game. It's happening regardless. Day to day is always covered. God always has us covered. Long term's always covered. Just play that long game. That's it, man. That's the way God always provides, short and long term. Alright. Crank out a few reps of these. I keep checking to just see if Yana's come out, but she hasn't. Although, I can just glance in the mirror, but I keep looking over directly. I'll probably be able to see her better in the mirror, actually. Let's get it. Okay, it's a little heavy. Oh, it's good though. We'll drop down the weight a tiny bit. Okay. These can stay here actually. I know people can pull these. Okay, we'll drop it maybe 10 kilograms. Get a couple 15 kilogram ones on here. Drop it by 10 kilograms. Alright. This is like such an ugly setup, but it's good. Real chill. I like this machine. It's good. I can fit myself into it. Oh, wait. This is good. Good times. Just crank a few out. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Woo. I'm feeling that. Feeling pretty tired right now actually. But I'm so grateful to be here. So happy to be here. And that's one of the big practices as of late. As always, it's you can't be angry, scared, those things, sad. Well, I guess you can kind of potentially be sad. You can't be those things when you're truly grateful, because gratitude is like an expression of love, and love is such a strong energy and emotion, or emotion that emits energy, that it just overpowers so many things. And it sounds so cliche to say, but it really is. And that's where, even in, like, you can watch me pack the weights away this way, it gives me chills because we look at this stuff and we talk about it, but then sometimes you see it in movies, when people talk about it and you're like, whoa, this really is the binding force of life. But Interstellar, for example, like the whole thing, I didn't get it when I first saw it. I was like, what? That's so stupid. When it was like, what's the binding force? Like, how did they bring us here to this interdimensional? Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Interstellar. But it's like, how did they bring us here? And why do they want us to communicate this way? It's like an interdimensional thing. He's in like another dimension. And Matthew McConaughey is just like, it's love. Love is why. I'm not really explaining that necessarily the best there, but the point is, stuff that you hear and you're like, what? As you get older or wiser to these things, you realize that is the truth. And where does that come from? God, I'd say, because Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Jesus is love as well. Love embodied. It's like, man, this is crazy, bro, to see how some of this stuff goes and it rolls, and how it really is just everywhere. Really cool. Even if you think about what movies are, they're made from love, man. They're just these things that people pour years of their lives into, dedicate everything. It's craft. They're craft embodied. And obviously they can be used for evil, but it's so cool to see, not the evil bits. Obviously that's going to happen with anything. You don't need to throw the baby out with the bath water. But with movies, you can express so much storytelling, so much love, and they're one of the things that you can actually put a monetary value to those things as well. Obviously there's labor of love with all of these things for someone. But you know, there's hundreds of millions, billions of dollars that go into these things, and whole businesses, people's livelihoods are generated from these things to such an extent. That's entertainment, that's attention. So where there's a lot of attention, that's where energy goes, that's where money flows as well. So movies are a great example of that being the case. Yeah, it's getting a little chilly in here, so I'm gonna pop my pants on. The sweaties, they're back. Oh, and it's good, man. It's so good to be a part of, pour love into things. Never think about it, even with my content. Some people are watching them, which is kind of nuts to me. Some of these gym therapy sessions like 2 hours long, 2.5 hours, 3 hours almost. I think I have one that's 3 hours, but I had to split it up into two because it wasn't exporting. People are watching movies that I'm making as well, basically, like the Joe Rogan podcast stuff. All of that is pretty wild that you guys are watching our movies that we're making, really. Yeah, me and Joe Rogan, that's right. That's right. Me and my guy Joe. Who is Joe? Alright, I'll bring in the weights and then I'll hone the thing in a bit. Zoom in a little bit, rather. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. It's good, it's good, it's good. Alright. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. Little 3-plater on this one. Because I am not imagining I'm going too heavy on this. I might rip straight into the first set of these ones. No primer, just going raw, bro. Not true. I reckon I can do. Right, let's have a quick pray. sternum's getting caved in by this machine. Oh, this might be a good weight actually. My rhomboids are not warm enough. So that's one that I'm like, okay, bring it back a little bit and use this thing for the thing, yeah. My rhomboids, I have busted, I forgot about that actually. I busted my rhomboid years ago when I was first starting at the gym because I just kind of ripped into some rowing stuff without too much warm. Oh, it's Yavna Lin. Alright, I guess I'm done with this. That was alright. That was a good amount. Well, let's wrap this one up then. It's been an hour indeed, I know, right? I thought you passed out and they'll fell in the toilet bowl or something. Yeah. This is all the art of being man. Oh, she's coming into frame. No, I like it. Embody that. And it'll be all gravy, baby. Catch you guys on the flippity flip. Take another look at this Goku bag whilst I put stuff in here. Huh? Yana just bonked her head on the gym nuts. Yeah, on the dongle. The dongle. Actually, I'll keep this out here. Oh, you're still here? Because I've not cut you off, but yeah. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. And catch you guys on the flippity flip. Let's just put this in here. Oh, we'll do some kicks. Alright, bye.